Hey guys, what is going on? Matt O'Leary back with another video. We are through the NFL draft, but we still have some draft things to talk through. And what I wanted to do was go over the UDFAs that the Jets have signed so far. There are a lot of guys on this list, so we're going to run through. We'll give you some brief info on each guy. And let's get things rolling first with a rookie minicamp invite out of UConn. Ian Swenson, he's a linebacker, safety. Shocker, the Jets love themselves some guys who can play multiple positions, specifically the linebacker safety role. He would be small at linebacker, 6'2", 215. He has 48 games over 2 seasons at UConn, and he racked up 88 tackles for them just this past year. Like I said, at that size, probably a little small to play linebacker unless he puts on some weight for the next level. So probably more of a safety project or special teamer, I would imagine. Another rookie minicamp invite, is a local product, a quarterback out of Fordham, Tim DeMorat, 6'4", 224, so has, that prototypical NFL size for a quarterback. Pretty good athlete, big arm. He threw for a ton of yards and touchdowns last year, 4,891 yards, 56 touchdowns. Really struggles with his deep ball right now. Very much so a project and probably a long ways away from being ready to be on an NFL roster. But he joins what is already a crowded quarterback room at this point with Tim Boyle, Chris Streveler, Zach Wilson, and oh, by the way, Aaron Rodgers. Then the Jets also add, let's just go through the guys. Those are the rookie minicamp guys. The rest of these guys signed a deal. So linebacker, and this is in no particular order, by the way, linebacker out of Miami, Caleb Johnson. He's 5'11", 228 with 4.4 speed. The Jets love fast linebackers. That's going to be a trend on this list. And he also has a ton of special teams experience. So if he's trying to, obviously all these guys are trying to make the roster, but if he is to make the roster, his special teams value would probably be a big reason for that. You also have TJ Luther, wide receiver out of Gardner-Webb. He's an FCS receiver. There's a couple FCS receivers on this list. Now, they paid him some pretty good guaranteed money, so I think he probably has a leg up on some of these other guys. You could kind of tell that last year. Like last year, there was the linebacker that the Jets paid some pretty nice money to. And Zonovan Knight was another one where we kind of said, all right, he might have a chance to do something here. Keep an eye on TJ Luther. He is 6 foot and has 4.45 speed, which is a pretty solid speed for a wide receiver at that size. You also have EJ Jenkins, who is a wide receiver / tight end coming from Georgia Tech. 6'6", 245. He has 4.59 speed. So I would imagine that's probably more of a tight end than it is a wide receiver. He more than likely will play tight end at the next level just due to the size. Kind of look at it like Lawrence Cager. I mean, Cager was brought in initially as a wide receiver. He transitions to tight end. He was an undrafted free agent and a relatively high priority one. So I would keep an eye on him as another project. But I think obviously Kuntz, who they spent a draft pick on, probably will have an upper hand there in that department. Next up, you have Xavier Gibson, wide receiver out of Stephen F. Austin, a 4-year FCS starter. He is just a speedster in the slot, 5'9". He's a much smaller receiver. He has 4.4 speed, shocking the Jets, adding just an absolute speedster, a burner. That's what they've been doing this offseason and through this draft class. I said it yesterday. The theme of the draft class was good athletes and speed. Gibson's just that. He's a good athlete with some speed. Next up is Travis Dye, running back out of USC. He's 5'10", 210 pounds. Now, one of the reasons why he dropped so much is because his 40 time, just slow 40 time, 4.78 is not very good. But he had over 4,000 rushing yards at USC. And he does have kick return experience, obviously losing Braxton Berrios, they move on from Braxton Berrios. They were unable to, come to an agreement on a restructure. He signs with the Miami Dolphins, so they're looking for a kick and punt returner. Mecole Hardman is obviously someone who could be that, fill that role. Zonovan Knight is someone who could fill that role, and add Travis Dye to the mix as well. Next up, Jason Brownlee, wide receiver out of Southern Miss, 6'2", 198. Now, he led Southern Miss in receiving yards each of the last 3 seasons. This is a jump ball threat, a developmental red zone guy. Watch out, Denzel Mims. I mean, he is, obviously Mims was taken in the 2nd round, but he's been on this roster and hasn't really taken that next step. And supposedly the rumor is the new coaching staff isn't super fond on him. So potentially this could be the developmental big red zone target guy of the future. Next up, corner Khalif Halisi out of Western Kentucky, 6', 193. He is a 2-year, or he was a 2-year starter at Western Kentucky. He is someone who was praised for his press man coverage. The Jets like those bigger physical corners, and he absolutely fits that bill. Claudin Churlis, he's coming out of Alcorn State. He is a linebacker with 4.5 speed. Again, I mentioned it. They love their linebackers with some speed. Now, he is also a project. Most of these undrafted free agents are just that, projects. But guess what? Guess what position he used to play? A former safety who is being converted to linebacker. The Jets have a type there, and that's very obvious. You have Malik Hall, linebacker, Southern Oklahoma State, 6'1", 235. He has insane speed, 4.42 for a linebacker. Are you kidding me? At that size, that is really impressive. He has a really good vertical, good athlete. Just, again, the Jets have had a theme for this draft and free agency period. He absolutely fits the bill. Marquise Waters, safety out of Texas Tech, 6 foot, 209 pounds. He is a traditional, more of a box safety. He is not someone who is going to play deep. He started 4 years at Duke before transferring over to Texas Tech, and he loves to come down and make plays at the line of scrimmage. Next up, a defensive lineman out of Pitt that isn't Kalijah Cansey, Deslin Alexander. He is a 2-year captain, 6'3", 267. He is a physical rusher, not really a finesse guy, so kind of the opposite of the speed, bendy, edge presence, which the Jets landed early in the draft in Will McDonald. He is definitely more of a physical than a finesse guy, which is a little bit different, but adds, you want to have versatility in your room, and this potentially adds that if he makes the roster. Up next is Trey Dean, safety out of Florida. Interesting. He was someone who I thought could have went late in the 6th or 7th round, but he is signed as a priority free agent out of Florida. 6'2", 200 pounds, big, long safety, good athlete. Doesn't have like crazy top speed, but he has experience covering big tight ends and could have a special teams impact, which if you're going to make the roster as an undrafted free agent, you got to be able to play special teams. Next up, Brent Lang, offensive tackle, but probably more of an offensive guard at the next level out of Minnesota Duluth. 6'4", 307, started 3 years at right tackle for them. Due to size, like I said, probably is going to have to move into guard. But good news, at the Shrine Bowl practices, he was taking reps at guard and center, so I'm sure the Jets saw something that they liked there, which is why they targeted him. Why they targeted him as an undrafted free agent. A couple more to get through right here. Derek Langford, cornerback, out of Washington State. Tall, really tall corner. 6'2", 205. Has a ton of special team experience and was a 2-year starter. And last but certainly not least, Caleb Tanner, edge/linebacker out of Nebraska. 6'2", 237. Small for an edge rusher. But he's athletic. He has more that the speed, bendy guy. He's a former team captain in his senior season. When you get to day 3 and the undrafted guys, we've seen a theme from the Jets of going with former team captains, guys who are well respected in their locker room, and guys who have a high athletic upside. A lot of these guys have high athletic upside. Of this list, I mean, obviously it's way, way, way too early to tell, but some notable names to me. Trey Dean, the safety out of Florida, stands out. The running back out of USC, Travis Dye, also stands out, although the Jets running back room is becoming a little bit more crowded as they drafted a running back for the 4th year in a row. And Xavier Gibson out of Stephen F. Austin, the slot receiver with a ton of speed. Those are players that I am saying to watch. I want to hear from you, though. Who are some undrafted free agents that you are keeping a close eye on? Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Matt O'Leary. I'll catch you next time.